Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I am offering up some advice as well as words of encouragement for those of you who may be starting out on your minimalism journey and also those who need just a little push, a little motivation to keep moving forward in the process. Lately, I've been finding myself doing a lot of reflecting on my own personal journey of minimalism, thinking back to the bits of advice that I've picked up along the way or the helpful things that I've learned that have allowed me to be successful. And so today I just really want to share that with all of you. These are things I wished I would have known way back when I was first starting out, or maybe on those days I was feeling discouraged and wanting to throw in the towel. And this is going to be just a really casual video. I plan to just speak from the heart because as someone who's further along probably on the journey of minimalism than maybe you are, I have seen the benefits. I know how important it has been in my life, and I just really want to give you that encouragement so that your journey can be successful as well. The first thing that I want to say is that minimalism is worth a try. Now, maybe you've come across minimalism for a variety of reasons. Perhaps you are just becoming overwhelmed by the amount of clutter, the chaos that the stuff in your home brings to your life, or perhaps you are just completely disenchanted with consumerism and marketing and everything that goes along with that. Whatever reason that you have kind of started to zone in and wanting to know more about minimalism, it may also scare you to realize that this is a lifelong journey, and that might scare you off. You might not want to even start. But I would like to say, as someone who has walked down this path, that even just understanding the concepts of minimalism really can help to improve your life. I know when we were first starting out, we were looking at it more from a stuff perspective and really trying to just downsize things and to get our life a little bit more manageable. But during that first part of minimalism, when you're really doing the deep decluttering and starting to understand what things are more valuable to you and what things that you really don't need to keep in your life, that theory, that concept really did help to improve many other aspects of my life as well, such as relationships and finances and even time management. And so even if you're just trying it out, starting out for the stuff, you're going to see some benefits in other aspects of life as well. Now, what if you are scared to get going because you're afraid you're going to fail, or you're not going to be able to, declutter the way that you hope that you would? Well, I'm sure there are some things in your life that you've already done, some maybe different sports that you've tried that you were really excited about at the beginning and they just didn't work out. That's okay. Even if you try minimalism and you find out it's not for you, you will have learned things that will impact you and that will be helpful to you in your life in general. So no matter what, I feel like it is worth a try. And I always like to say this phrase that, a year is going to pass, that time is going to pass no matter what. So if you set yourself a deadline, maybe say, I'm going to try this out, solidly for 1 full year, and you find at the end of the year that it's not for you, there's no harm done. You've probably done a little bit of decluttering, it simplified your life a little bit, and that's all good. If you come to the end and you want to keep going, great. But even if you don't, that time has passed and you can look back and say, I accomplished something, rather than dragging your feet and not accomplishing anything at all. And going along with the idea that minimalism is worth a try, you are also worth the effort. I know some people get really down on themselves, feeling like their mess is too big, they have, too much stuff to go through, maybe they feel like they're too old, and that, what's the point of even going through this? I'm barely going to make a dent in it, so why even bother trying? If you are looking into minimalism or even just simplifying your life, the fact that you are trying to find this escape, this relief from the pressures that you're facing, either the chaos, like I said, or just for your own mental health, that alone is going to be worth it, because you are worth it. You are worth giving yourself that load being lifted from your shoulders. So I know some people in the comment section will tell me that they are really intrigued by minimalism. They want to try it out. They feel, inspired to do so, but they're getting pushback from their spouse, from their kids, maybe their roommates. It almost feels at times that they're being sabotaged when they try to make the efforts to simplify or to declutter things in their homes. And even still, even if you're getting that pushback from other people, for you, it is still worth it to go forward and to persevere. Because even if you put in the effort and all you get from it is one room in your home that's an oasis from the chaos, that is somewhere where you can go to have solitude, to have respite, and that would be a huge accomplishment. So looking back at any challenge that you faced in your life, whether, it's something that you struggled with or something that you had to overcome, when you look back and see that you did something, you took the steps to get there, and you feel that sense of pride, that sense of accomplishment, even more so if you accomplish something, in the process. So even if it is just that one little room that you get out of the deal and you have that is yours, it was worth it. Again, for your own mental health, if you are looking to simplify, minimalism is worth trying, and you are worth trying it for. The third bit of advice that I'd like to share is that one of the greatest factors in determining your success is going to be your attitude and your mindset that you have towards the changes that you're making and the process that you're on. I'm a firm believer that we have the ability to look at either the positive or negative in really any situation in life. We are all given difficult things to deal with. I know that I have in my life, and to be honest, I haven't always had the best attitude towards them. But guess what? In those moments when I'm having my pity party, my woe is me, this is too hard, that really does make the process much more difficult. That trial takes longer. It's a lot more labor intensive. It's a lot more mentally exhausting. And that's really just not worth it to me. So personally, I tend to rely on my faith a lot. The words of the Bible, the book of Romans talks about how everything works together for good. And so I like to reframe things in that way, where I can say, hey, this is difficult right now, but I'm doing it for a good purpose. And so as this relates to minimalism and simplifying, whether you're a person of faith or not, there are going to be challenges that come about. You are going to have to make a lot of difficult decisions. You might be getting some of that pushback from other people. But to know that if you have that attitude of looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that you're doing this for a reason, even though it feels tough right now, it is setting you up for something in the future that is so much better. That's just going to help you, encourage you to keep going. And on those hard days when you feel like giving up, it's going to really motivate you to continue on. Number 4, it is okay and actually advised that you go at your own pace. There are going to be a group of people watching today's video who are just starting out with minimalism and feel really completely overwhelmed and frustrated by the amount of things that they're going to be going through, and worried about the decisions that need to be made, and just know right off the bat that they're going to have to take this very slowly because they're scared of making a mistake. At the same time, in a different way, there are going to be people who want to just get going right away and can make those decisions more quickly. Maybe they're not as attached to their items in that same way, and they can really make a lot of rapid progress. And I just want you to know that either of those scenarios are completely okay. Whatever pace feels most comfortable for you is the pace that you should be going. Because if you are that person that needs to be more methodical in your decision making and you're feeling rushed to do something, what's going to happen? You're going to shut down and quit altogether. And so whatever can keep you moving forward is how you should be going about it. I also want to note that as you're going through the journey of minimalism, simplifying, there are going to be times when you might need to vary your speed a little bit. Maybe you are that person that can start out really quickly and make those decisions easily, but then you find once you get to sentimental items, photos, for example, you slow down, and that's okay too. Don't be frustrated if you need to slow down for a little while. So basically, whatever pace feels comfortable, that's the pace you should be going, because that is how you're going to be the most successful. The fifth thing that I want to share is minimalism is not about the numbers. This is a huge misconception that I fell for early on, thinking that there was some magical number that I could meet to call myself a minimalist. I actually was tempted in the beginning to do an audit, like an inventory of our home, and count all the items that we had, and then have a goal to reduce it by a certain percentage. Kind of make it this big mathematical equation, scientific method type of thing. Thankfully, I recognized pretty early on that that was going to be way too difficult, way too daunting of a task, and I didn't follow through with it. And I'm glad that I didn't, because as I went further in this journey, I realized more and more that it is not about the numbers at all. It's about the mindset that you have towards your things, and really only holding on to those things that you value and that you use and that you want to keep around you. And so that's going to be different for everybody. We are a family of 7, and trying to compare our family to a couple with no children or a single person and in the numbers of things that we need or that we keep around is really apples and oranges. You cannot compare the two. And so even though sometimes I will still get comments from people that say, your house is lovely, I love that you're an organized person, but you really shouldn't call yourself a minimalist because your home has too many things. I kind of giggle a little bit at that and almost want to ask them, like, what is this magical guidebook that you have that says a number that, I'm supposed to meet? Because I've never seen it. Truly, it doesn't exist. That's just a false narrative. But, those people that say those things are falling for that idea that there is a number limit on things. It's just not true. So if you are feeling like you want to try out minimalism, but you feel like you can't get yourself down to that level to qualify, just free yourself from that, because there is no number limit on minimalism. And number 6, you don't need permission to keep something or to let something go. As you're going through this journey, there are going to be a lot of decisions that need to be made, and all of these decisions are very, very personal. The things that you've accumulated through your life are different than your neighbors, different than your best friends, and we've kept them for personal reasons, and we can also choose to let go of them for personal reasons. If you are someone who has an amazing collection of rolling pins, for example, but you're finding as you're being more thoughtful with your things and you're going through making these decisions, you find that you really aren't reading your books, you're not, spending much time looking at them at all, and you want to donate them, you want to declutter your books, it doesn't mean that you made a bad decision. Books aren't necessarily better than rolling pins. You get to make that choice. And so don't let anybody tell you that you're making a mistake, that you're going to regret getting rid of something that you got rid of. I know that one of the challenges that people will report to me about minimalism is getting a guilt trip from relatives that are saying, you have to keep this special piece because it was handed down to you or it's been in the family for generations. Well, if you don't care for it, if it's not your style, if it's not your taste, you don't need permission to hold on to it either. You can let it go. And if they like it so much, maybe you can offer it to them. But really, there's no set reason why you need to justify to anybody else why you choose to keep something or why you choose to let it go. You are being thoughtful, you are being intentional, and those decisions are yours alone to make. And finally, number 7, you are complete in an empty room. Guys, I'm going to leave you with this last bit of advice because I think it is the most impactful, and I also feel like it sums up minimalism very well in 7 sweet, simple words. You are complete in an empty room. You are special. You are unique. There has never been anyone like you. There will never be anyone like you in the future. You have everything you need that makes you who you are inside of you. Your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your thoughts, your feelings, they're all inside. So anything that you choose to surround yourself with, it might make your life easier, more comfortable, more efficient, but it does not change who you are. And so if you can understand the value of yourself, that is really going to open up this whole concept of minimalism in a different way, allow you to really see the things that you are dealing with on an everyday basis as you're making these decisions in a whole different way. I know that this concept really opened up my eyes and made this process so much more enjoyable, so much more, I guess, streamlined, you could say, because I realized that these things are just things. They're not me. They're here to accompany me. They're here to assist me, but they're not me. I like to say that if someone were to come into your home and you're not there and they take a look around, they might notice things that you like. They might notice your hobbies. They might notice the things that you care about. know a little bit about you, but they won't know you as a person unless they meet you and they get to know you, because that stuff is not you. So again, it kind of gives you that little separation between yourself and your stuff, and really shows that we as human beings are just so much more valuable than the things we surround ourselves with. So again, that's the last bit of advice I want to leave you with today. You are complete in an empty room. You are valuable. You are special. All right, that is everything I wanted to talk to you about today. Those are the 7 most impactful and helpful things that I've learned throughout my years of minimalism. I know that they can benefit you as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave a slide here showing all of the bullet points that I talked through, so you can take a screenshot if you'd like to look back on those days you're feeling discouraged or you just need a bit more motivation. I also want you to know that I'm always here for you to cheer you on. So whether you have a success story or you have a struggle that you're having and you just want a bit of encouragement, leave me a comment down below. I try my very best to answer each and every one. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.